So welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be diving into a critical topic that I think is very important, and that is choosing the right fish for your aquarium. So let's get into it. So when it comes to selecting fish for your aquarium, it's important to consider a lot of different factors. And number one is your tank size. Now down here in my fish room, I run a lot of medium to smaller aquariums. So I have everything from 55 gallons down to 10-gallon aquariums. Now different fish require different space environments. So it's important to choose the right species of fish so you can give them the proper environment. So for instance, small tanks like nano and betta tanks are mainly ideal for like smaller fish like neon tetras, guppies, shrimp, or even these swordtails right here. But medium-sized tanks can hold discus, bigger angels, and even smaller cichlids. Now, if you got like a monster tank or a really big tank, 300 gallons, 200-gallon aquarium, you can accommodate even larger species of bigger cichlids or even some monster fish in some cases. Now, the next thing to consider is the temperament of the fish. Some species of fish are peaceful, and then you have fish like the smaller African cichlids right here who are very aggressive and territorial. So it's critical to choose the right fish so that way you can maintain a well community tank, because you don't want your fish being killed by other fish. So really take that into consideration. Now for beginner fish keepers, I would recommend starting with some peaceful fish like the swordtails that I just showed you, or even these Congo tetras that's in this aquarium. They're mainly known for being super peaceful and compatible in a lot of different environments. However, if you're interested in more challenging setups, you can venture into keeping semi-aggressive fish like the ones that I have in this aquarium, these severums and these pikes, or you can get aggressive species like African cichlids or South American, Central American cichlids if you want to deal with more of an aggressive fish. Just make sure that you have proper room for these fish and proper hiding spots, because you don't want anybody beating on each other. Certain fish have different water parameters like different pH levels, temperature, so it's very important to choose a fish that have similar parameters so that way you don't stress your fish out or cause any sicknesses or anything like that in your aquarium, because that's the last thing you will want. Now for example, if you got a planted tank with live plants like this one right here, I wouldn't put any fish in this aquarium that's going to be stirring up the substrate too much or tearing up my plants, because that's going to defeat the purpose of having a planted tank. Now if you're trying to do like a species only aquarium, you got a lot more flexibility with the type of fish that you can have. But if you're trying to have a nice planted aquarium, you're very limited on a lot of the bottom dwelling fish or fish that's going to be messing with your substrate. Now the last thing to think about is the care level of the fish you're trying to keep. Some species of fish are hardy like guppies and swordtails and mollies and things of those nature. A lot of tetras, they're very hardy fish, but there's some fish that aren't as hardy and they require a lot of different things to make sure they're healthy for the long term. So make sure that you are doing the research on your fish before you go out and buy them, so that way you can make sure you put your fish in the right environment, because the last thing you want to do is go to the pet store and buy a fish and bring them home and he don't survive. So consider that and think about that. Now if you're new to fish keeping, I would consider starting with some beginner friendly fish. Like in this tank we have some nice angelfish in this aquarium. Now I consider angelfish a beginner fish because as long as you give them the right environment, they will thrive for you. But there's a lot of beginner fish like guppies, mollies, and swordtails, things that I've already stated before. Just make sure you start with something that is going to help you gain some experience in the hobby, and then once you get some experience, you start to get your confidence up, then you can start exploring different options and different fish to start keeping. But start with something that is beginner friendly, that is not going to be hard for you to keep. So that's gonna be pretty much it for today's video. I just wanted to make a video about choosing the right fish for your aquarium. Just make sure that you got the right fish for the right tank size. Make sure they're compatible with the fish that you're trying to put them with. Make sure your parameters is good, and always do water changes and set your aquarium up in a natural way so that way your fish can do well in the long run. Now by doing this, you will have a long lasting, beautiful aquarium, and I think you will enjoy it. So I appreciate you guys coming through and checking out this video today. If you learned something, hit that like button. If not, subscribe to this channel if you're new around here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.